Welcome to the Engerati studio. We are located at the Asian Utility Week, and we're privileged to have with us today Martin Hauske. He's the Managing Director for Smart Grid Services in the Asia Pacific region. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Denise, for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Do you want to give us a bit of background on Accenture and what your activities are in the region here, first of all, and then maybe expand a little bit for us across the globe?
Thank you, Denise. The Accenture has got its traditional strength around IT, which is asset management, mobile workforce management, but then also complementary areas like smart metering, and recently we've had a great push into intelligent networks with the joint venture with Siemens, with Omnetric, and the acquisition of Structure Group. And with this whole IT-OT convergence happening, this is really the perfect place to be.
Right. This market does seem to be growing at quite a rapid rate.
It is enables local utilities to do more with less. Because in the traditional world, you have gold-plated networks in Singapore, at China Light and Power, but how can other utilities achieve similar outcomes with more affordable means? Requires a deep understanding of your assets as well as your grid.
Yeah, I mean, all about optimizing, so you're not wasting money where it's not necessary, really, I suppose.
Correct,
yeah.
And in particular with renewables playing a major role in Asia, and renewable integration requires to understand where the network has spare capacity, how it can be integrated in an affordable way.
Right, absolutely. What are your plans specifically in the Asian region going forward, perhaps in the next 5 to 10 years' time?
I see Accenture as a partner to utilities. Right. In a way, we are not selling to the utilities, but we are investing in the utilities business. What I've seen in Germany is with the shift to more energy services, more renewable integration, the role of utility changes, becomes more of a platform provider. And for those new applications, utilities rarely have systems or the capabilities around analytics. And as Accenture, we are prepared to invest and provide those systems as services.
Right. As far as any exciting projects at the moment in the region, do you care to
one project that's gone live recently was the AGL, Australia Gas and Electric, has gone live with smart metering as a service. In Thailand, we are working with PEA to help them develop their smart grid roadmap. So this is, to your point, well, how will the region look like in 5–10 years? What are the projects the utility have to undertake? How can they convince the regulator? How can they help the consumer? So very exciting.
So just based on that, what challenges are very specific to this region? I'm sure some of them are shared with parts of the world, but what challenges do you come up against in this region?
This region is as far as smart grid goes, is very large. For example, Thailand has the northwest area, which is very remote. Indonesia has, I think, 14–15,000 islands, 6,000 of which are inhabited. So then, like you mentioned in our previous discussion regarding Africa, this is different from Europe, where you've got small regions that are well connected. Now you need to provide affordable energy in very remote places. And that's where I think technologies like Microgrid can really make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, we wrote recently quite a series of articles on microgrid development, and islands are definitely snapping these options up. It seems to be the sustainable route to go.
I fully agree, and the advances around cost of solar, cost of battery, both have become much more affordable. Yeah. The part that Accenture adds is management of microgrids in a central location for many distributed locations. Yeah. So you can have remote monitoring of assets, you can have remote management, and thereby keep the management costs down while still having very advanced technologies. Examples in other industries are like jet engine monitoring. Right. Accenture has a joint venture with General Electric Aviation to remote monitor the jet engines in flight globally. And we have increased the reliability by more than 45%, which allows for 2 jet engines to fly all around the world, like the Dreamliner. So that kind of high reliability of distributed assets is enabled through analytics. This is our value. We are not power engineers. We have some good ones, but we are more of a partner to utilities in that sense.
Interesting. Okay. You have now just touched on the opportunities and the benefits, of this future smart grid for utilities. And could you expand maybe a bit more on that, and also just touch on the opportunities that are available for the customer as well?
The customer, as has been discussed by other partners here at this event, rarely are aware of their energy consumption. They see a bill at the end of the month, helping the customer understand its consumption. For example, with Singapore Power, we have set up their customer service system. We have helped them with energy efficiency programs, so helping customer manage their energy better and, if possible, save energy. And then in that context, with demand response, in particular, reducing the peak load can help save money for everybody. Because peak load, the last dollar is the most expensive, the last kilowatt hour. It's particularly around smart metering. The benefits of smart metering are frequently around energy savings and peak load reduction.
Right. Okay. So there is quite a lot of opportunity for both customer and utility.
In particular, in this region, where it seems a bit, at first sight, an expensive technology to deploy in this area, but since energy is such a precious commodity, and with renewables coming in, you need to have some sort of flexibility. Because energy storage is by itself not able to do that.
Are the grids prepared for all of this renewable input?
One other challenge is that the regulator, I think, needs to realize it requires a new communication infrastructure, and this is putting like roads and communication networks. If we don't have that without smart grid, the integration of renewables will be much more challenging, because technology enables more affordable and when I look at other examples like Europe, it has been very expensive to integrate renewables. But local utilities won't have that money to do that. Using storage, using smart grid, the cost of integrating renewables will come down and making it more affordable.
Especially now with for instance, when I was at the African Utility Week, the buzzword was Tesla batteries, and how they're selling out so quickly. What is your take on that? Do you think that's going to come out this way fairly soon?
Already, some of our customers are bringing that to market. For me, storage has got the consumer side, integrating with renewables, and personally, I don't believe, our research shows that the death spiral is not happening, because nobody really wants to cut the cord. It's too high of a risk. People want to stay connected, but storage will play an important role, and our view is that utilities should play a proactive role, helping deploy storage at customer side, but also at grid level to integrate renewables better and defer capital investment, and then at frequency stabilization, so that, for example, Korea is integrating 500 megawatt of batteries in their spinning reserves. So this is really on all levels, which is a great opportunity to further improve. And what Accenture is doing is we are setting up a platform, distribution optimization as a service, that enables utility to take advantage of those new technologies to deploy them cost efficiently.
What do you hope to achieve at the event this year?
For me, it is great to meet several customers that I have seen, further introduce what we have been working on, and perhaps share some of the trends of our research with regulators, with customers, so that they can make informed decisions on regulation, avoid some of the mistakes that Europe may have made, like Germany, and allow utilities to deploy those new technologies to integrate renewables more affordably.
It's all about learnings at the end of the day, and how to optimize those learnings.
And learning from others. So Accenture is committed to partnerships. We are working with all the leading vendors like GE, like O-Power, like Siemens. I mentioned our joint venture, and only together can we provide integrated solutions for our customers.
Would that be your advice to the power sector here, just to work together to integrate, share ideas? What other advice would you like to give the power sector in this region?
The biggest challenge I see are qualified people, because people understanding the grid side as well as communication and IT, because those three areas are integrated as part of IT OT. It's very hard to find qualified people in that space. So developing their internal talents, helping the regulator understand those new challenges, to position themselves in this transformation. It is a transformation, as today TNB's head of distribution pointed out in his keynote speech. It's a transformation of the industry, and it requires that transformative approach and perhaps a partner like Accenture in that.
There we go, there we go. Well, it's all about partnering and all about developing skills and working holistically and integrating and learning from each other. Thank you so much for your time. I trust that you'll enjoy the rest of the conference, and to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. There are other videos that you can watch.